Welcome to the 2020 Bus Grease Monkey Year in Review. This is part one. There'll be a two-parter. And everything with the year went kind of crazy, but it started out here with the generator wouldn't start. We're getting ready to leave January 2nd, heading down to Tennessee from Indianapolis, and that's where this story starts. It's just before sunup. We've already hit about 50 miles this morning. Can't get the generator to go. Everything on the left will be our property. It's a beautiful drive coming in.
For power lines.
Yeah. Where do they go to though? They just end right there. That might be just telephone. That might not be power lines.
In 1/4 mile, turn left.
We'll find out.
So Lenny is out at the new property, and luckily the soil is very gravelly. So today's a good day to know, because it's been raining all night long. What I'd really like to know is if he's going to make it up this hill without any issues. So we had a pretty good day today, other than the generator issue that popped up last night, and it's pouring down rain again. Like I said, maybe Sunday I'll be able to get out there and take a look at it. But we're at a campground now for the next few days. We came down to the property in Tennessee. We had a meeting with the soil guy, company that's doing all the testing to make sure that the new property will perk for the septic. And he got they stick a pole in the ground everywhere in where the septic field needs to go, and it wouldn't go down to 3 feet everywhere. He got several holes where it would, and just the structure that I know of the soil that's out there, I'm going to say he was probably hitting some rock, softball size or something like that rock in the ground. But they need to be able to confirm all that, so we have to pay some more money to have a guy come out with a backhoe and do some test dig holes, just to make sure and he was, he's like, most likely it's going to perk, but we just have to, go the extra little bit further to make sure that it does. So that's going to be later next week. We won't be here for it. Our realtor will go there when they do that. We have one more meeting on the property again on Monday, and that is with the engineer from the power company to go over hooking up to the electrical grid, what's involved in that, and costs, and where the best place to come in and that kind of stuff is. So anyways, we're excited about the property. I took Lenny on the property today, and it's pretty rocky ground, which is great because we don't have to worry about getting stuck in mud or anything like that. So he like gravel based soil kind of stuff down there. He did real good on that. The only problem that I have is there's a lot of ruts and holes and things like that I cannot take Lenny back out on the property again until after that gets graded. He didn't like getting stuck in those holes. Some of them were pretty deep, like 6 inches down, stuff like that. And he would roll over them, but I don't have a lot of ground clearance with my muffler in the back which was the one I had Kelly out watching for, the engine muffler, and wasn't paying attention to that generator muffler, which again, it sits about 6 inches off the ground. So if the tire's down in a 4 or 5 inch hole in the front, and then it's a tire in the middle, I think it just kind of centered on there a little bit. Found out a lot of roads that I don't want to go down to, and that I don't want to drive the bus down in the area. We came in a different way today than we normally did. There's another road about 2 miles further out of the way that I should take, because it's a lot. I have never been wiped out driving the manual steering bus before, except for today on a road that I went on that was so curvy and hilly, and it had like NASCAR banking on the curves, and I couldn't go over like 20 miles an hour on them, and just ate me up as far as arm muscles and everything like that, back and forth, left and right. And it was a rough road. And then we ended up on another road couldn't make a turn somewhere, so I took the next one and barely made that turn, and it ended up being like a country road that turned into gravel. I knew it was a bad sign. And then all of a sudden I see a hill that goes up maybe 50 feet in the air, and at the very top of this super steep hill is a stop sign, and we got to turn left at the stop sign, which is it's a T to a highway. And there's like no way for me to stop at that stop sign and get going again. That's how steep the hill was. So Kelly got out and made sure that nobody was coming either way when I started my approach on it, and then I slowed down and went through the stop. But if I would have come to a complete stop on that, if there would have been traffic coming, I would have had to roll back down and reverse all the way down that hill. So I know not to ever go down that road again. I definitely used up some clutch today on that property and some of those ruts and holes that were out there. Just got a little too anxious, I think, to go out and try it, and I really wanted to take them even further into the property, but it had been raining for days here, so that was a really good test of the soil structure, though, that I didn't have to worry about, getting stuck in anything. There's no mud holes or anything like that, but just the natural erosion of some water and stuff like that has created some little trenches and some kind of potholes and stuff like that it's not ready for a bus yet. But I got them turned around, got them out of there, got on the road. We're at the campground here. We're in, like I said, we're in Dixon. I think we're about 20 miles from the property, something like that. And we'll be here for a couple days until Monday, and then we're going to head out to Arkansas, and then from Arkansas to Texas, and we got lots of buses to work on. Hopefully I'll get my generator issue fixed. Don't really have it in the budget right now to buy a new generator. I'm sure it's something kind of simple. I don't know those Onins very well. So, the first thing I can do is check for spark on it. But it backfires every once in a while and sputters, so I don't think that spark is really the issue, but I want to see what it's doing. So spark, fuel, maybe the fuel pump's not pushing fuel through. I don't know. It's just everything's wet too. At first I thought it was just kind of grounding out something like the shutdown or something. But when I went to demo it last night for you, it didn't run at all. It didn't fire at all. So I'm not really sure, but it is full of oil. The fuel is full on it, on the tank. I actually put another like 10 gallons in that fuel tank today just to make sure the fuel wasn't an issue. But yeah, it's not fuel. It's not oil. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a gas engine expert, but I know enough about them to, obviously I'm going to look for spark, and then make sure the fuel pump is working on there too. I could try it on some starting fluid and make sure that it's going to fire on that as well. That should kind of be a little test if it's something else that's going on. So anyways, I'm going to get to know that Onan a little bit better than I probably wanted to. But it's been a real good thing. I haven't really had many problems with it. I think it'll be okay. And we'll have another video in a couple of days. Probably when we get to Arkansas, maybe. Thank you. Okay, got that muffler mounted back on there. Let's see if the generator starts. Okay. Early morning frost everywhere. We have an 8 o'clock appointment with the engineer from the power company at the property this morning. I got 320
24 feet there, and that's probably pretty close. So I'm thinking that's about one span of wire. We like running our spans about 350 feet. We can go over that a little, especially when you're going over a valley like this. So we could probably actually go from there, you know, closer up here to the house. And then what you can do from the house, or from that pole, which would be called your transformer pole, you can go underground to your house. So as long as you stay within 150 feet, you can go underground off that last pole.
Now, what about underground over that way where the trees don't have to come down? Is there a length limit on that or no?
I don't know. I mean, that I'd have to just get on Google and figure it, or get my my little wheel. But I don't want to go over there and walk around on their property without you know, permissions. I'd only be guessing at that point. But I think this is the way you need to go, honestly.
Yeah.
And how much is this per foot? Is there a per foot thing for this?
It's
or?
closer to about $3, $3 to $3.50
versus
so
$12 if it's underground.
Yeah, it's actually a lot less than that by the time you add in the cost of digging and the pipe.
Yeah.
So, but this is a perfect application of going overhead, because you're going over a valley here, and once you get these trees cut, it'll be a long time before they would come back, you know, and interfere with the wire and stuff.
Yeah. How cool is that?
Smoking.
Everything was fine this morning with the batteries, and then we're out at the property, and when I came back, I think there's something wrong with the solar. The batteries were at 26 volts or some shit like that. When the solar was, let me turn the solar back on and see what it does. Yeah, it goes really high. Well, that's not really high, but it was high. The other just turned on just now. Yeah, whatever it did, it's a dead battery charge now. So I have the inverter or the generator running right now to add some power back to the batteries, but something completely drained them down. But the solar, I just turned it off. It was, what was it, 26 volts or something like that?
26.2, I think it said.
26, not 2.62, it was 26. So my oil pressure just dropped a few PSI there. I'm normally about 42, 44, and it looks like it's about 35, 38 right now. I saw it bounce around. Let's see if it comes back up here, but I'm gonna pull over and check it out. I'm assuming we just maybe got a little bit of an oil leak back there now. So I lost my gauges like a hawk. So I dropped down, then it bounced back up, then it dropped down. Now it's kind of staying there. So keep an eye on it here. We got an exit coming up in about 2 miles. That's safer than pulling off on the side of the highway, but we'll see. My oil pressure's back up to about 42, so I can keep an eye on that here. I just had a modern Greyhound bus try to pass me, and Lenny was like, "Oh, Dad," I heard him say it, man. So I got back on the throttle and left him in my best. He's about a half mile behind me now. Lenny didn't want the shame of letting that modern little young dude pass him on the highway. His oil pressure came back up, otherwise I wouldn't be gassing. Here, give me that and I'll show the oil pressure. It's hanging out about 39. Any big oil leaks, nothing really hitting the ground. You see a drip of oil on there. Usually the back would be all covered with oil if it had a big leak. Okay, so we got that generator tight on there now. That should stop bouncing around. He said he's got a little bit of a driveline vibration. And if you want to look at his brake drum right here, this thing spins on the drive shaft and huge chunks of it, pounds of it, are missing. So I would suspect that that makes a hell of a vibration being out of balance like that. So that's going to need to be taken off of there and replaced. But yeah, you can see how much that's missing. I think that's solid cast iron there, so that's just one section of it. The whole section over here is missing too. That'll make a vibration, all right. Well, the racket that generator was making, I didn't like it, so I figured we need to pull it off and inspect the drivetrain on it, because it's always a time bomb waiting to happen. And you probably can't see it right here at this angle, but we're gonna take it off the rest of the way. It's missing several teeth, have broken off of the drive gear for the generator there, and I can't even see inside the one on the engine. Can you see that one from your side, the engine one, the female? Is it?
It don't look like I'm missing any teeth, but it looks worn.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't see any missing teeth, but it does look worn.
She was making a racket. I'm actually impressed that it didn't take out your engine, so we're lucky.
Is this not supposed to be sharp all the way out?
No, that's not supposed to be. It's a castle
Okay.
nut, but yeah, it's not supposed to be finger loose. The only thing that's these can be loose in there because they can't come off, because it's bolted in between that, and you see how that inner piece sticks out there.
Yeah.
So that nut can't come off. Otherwise, it would have spun off and you'd have lost the gear. But
Wow.
the shaft might even be bad here because it's been rotating around so much. See if that'll pull off of there or not. Okay, that's good. That's a good sign. Okay, we're leaving Denmark, Arkansas here.
There.
Boy, that was a tight squeeze there. We're heading to Seabrook, Texas, which is in the Houston, Texas area. We're not going to make it all the way tonight. We'll make it to probably Texarkana. This is probably a good stopping point, which gets us about 200 miles up to 500 miles. 550 miles. Here's Lenny, parked at a Walmart here in Arkansas. Walmart in Arkansas is like visiting the Pope in Rome, right? Go do some shopping. I just checked the batteries. Everything was full. At least the plates weren't exposed on any of them. We're holding about 12.6 volts on them right now. And we'll see if we get some amps out of them. Generator is running great. No issues. Fired right up. Kelly's getting ready to cook dinner. So we'll see how it's going later with the batteries. But I mean, they are holding a charge. If they can get us through tonight, running my little diesel heater tonight and the fan for that, and the refrigerator all night, I'll be real happy. This jagoff totally blocked me in here tonight. If I had to leave, I won't be able to go. I disconnected 4 batteries. As soon as I disconnected the 4 batteries, that's the voltage that I'm showing. So there must be something wrong with one or more of those 4 batteries that I just disconnected. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the charger back on and see what happens. That's a promising sign though. There was no charging added to that. It was just a matter of disconnecting 4 batteries and the voltage went up. So it's gotta be a bad cell on one of those batteries. Well, I can actually use the propane furnace again now that we actually have 12 volts inside the bus here. So we'll be able to run that and warm things up. It got really cold last night, but I didn't want to go out and mess with the batteries. I just left them disconnected. But yeah, removing those 4, it's got to be one of those 4. Those are 4 6 volts. I can't. It's hard for me to disconnect 2 of them right now the way that they're wired in there to figure out which 2 it is. I'll wait till my next destination and I'll get to it, but at least I've got 12-volt power again on the house side. I like the 75-mile-an-hour speed limits here. Well, I stopped here and we're about 100 miles from Seabrook, Texas. I'm going to turn off my heat valve. I can close this one little valve right here. That's going to turn off the coolant that goes to the heater cores inside. I was getting a little too hot up there, even though the blower motor wasn't on. You still get cooked up there. So by closing this, it'll stop the engine coolant from circulating through the heater cores up front. We stopped here for about 2 hours to rest. I disconnected 6 batteries from my house bank this morning, and at first I didn't think it was going to work that way, but those 6 batteries got charged by the alternator all day, and then it did pretty good on the 2 hours that we were here. The battery bank, it's at 12.6 right now. There we go. And it ran my refrigerator and everything for 2 hours. So hopefully those batteries that I'm now on will be okay. I see my fuel filter is getting close to being plugged up too. I got three holes left on there before it gets up to the top. I do carry a spare of those. There's Lenny, chillaxing at the rest stop.
1 year different from mine, and so his 1 year older than mine.
Look how cool that is. Lenny meeting up with one of his old buddies.
He does, yeah. Yeah,
That was kind of
he
a
was driving it, yeah.
tight parking spot.
Yeah, he does. He did all his,
This is going to be our project. Check. Lenny getting up and close with the palm tree. In the building. Whew, that thing's got some caked on oil grease on there. You'll see it more tomorrow. It's getting dark out. Yeah, it's sunset here.
Yeah. Well, we should have cleared the mosquitoes out now.
Yes.
So you should be good.
That's hilarious.
I got up there too. I sprayed, a matter of fact, all the exhaust bolts. I climbed in through the back and sprayed them all with penetrating blaster. So I was
good.
hoping we could save ourselves.
That is the most ridiculous trailer hitch I've ever seen, by the way.
It is ridiculous, isn't it?
And the amount of thick caked grease on your engine is incredible.
Yeah, it's wild, isn't it? The only leak that I really found was this thing.
That oil pressure gauge right there.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. It looks wet. A little bit wet over here, but not like it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I sat here and watched it for a while.
Yeah, the electric fans on the radiator. You might want to get a couple more fans if you're going to go electric like that. And are those sucking through or blowing through?
I think they're sucking through. I removed off. This guy had this nifty hood scoop on here, so.
Okay. Well, I'm like they're supposed to go through, so.
Yeah, this guy had a scoop here, and I thought it's probably restricting airflow, honestly, because you can see how low profile it is.
Yeah.
I was thinking, especially sitting at stops, but.
Yeah, you might even be able to mount more fans on this side that blow through.
Okay.
Because if you're going to go with electric, you're going to need more, I think, than what
More
you have
fans.
there. And I'm going to say you've got some pretty big injectors in there, would be my guess, but we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, like I said, it goes good. Like, I was surprised when me and my wife, because I had her follow me when I was driving back, and I was doing 65 no problem until I hit that one huge bridge.
That'll show you why she's smoking so much, all that oil in the blower.
You guys do have those? Okay. How many of those do you guys have in stock? You ready for me to fire it up?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to try and do a compression test here. $450, that's really good. You're over 400.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you got it.
That's golden then.
You're good. That's one I was worried about. So at the end of the day, there's Lenny and his new buddy. They've been hanging out together all day. Got a lot done. Tomorrow we'll get even more. But I'm not sure that every mechanic would have traveled somewhere and not rebuilt an engine when that's when the customer wanted. But I didn't want to take money from him. It's a good, strong engine. It starts so easily. Compression is great on it. It just needs some adjustment, some fine tuning, blower. It may end up smoking just a little bit still too, but it's not from compression. It could be oil control rings or something. But right now I'm going to go with blower because of as much oil was in that blower. Finish the tune-up on it and then just get some miles on it. I think it's really going to be a good, strong bus. It's going to need to add to the radiator though, the cooling fans on it. I don't like that system. It can be done electric. I know somebody who's done it, but I think he needs more than what he's got on there. And he's going to need to really watch those temperatures closely. It's a big one, ain't it? Can we get it with our fingers yet or no? Drop it in the oil pan. Yeah. Now, this is the real test. Look at how much metal is on that thing. That opening in the middle it's completely open. It's like a tuning fork. So, put your finger in the middle.
Oh, this thing's open right here.
Oh, no, it's open. Yeah, pull it. That's all metal shavings. Every time somebody shifts in here, grind. But that's completely normal. So they're all like that. Don't be worried about it. Put your finger in between, like pull it out, like see how it's split, like just get a big goop of it out of there. There's no big chunks or anything, right? It's just, it's all just like a real fine
mesh.
Yeah. They're all like that. So that's what it's supposed to look like. But it's good that they put a magnet in there like that just to collect all that out of there.
Fallen and these haven't.
Yeah, so this one's down to 5 volts. And when I put the load tester on it, there's only going up to not even 100 cranking amps. That's a 900 cranking amp, 6-volt battery, so that's no
See,
good.
you're up now.
Were you unload before?
No. So here we are today. This is a 1972 Eagle. This is Amber's bus. This is Amber.
What's going on?
So tell us about your bus. What's your plans?
So my plan, so I'm an artist, so I'm a music artist. I do music production, songwriting, home recording. And originally I wanted to have a bus that I can turn into a home, but also a place where I could teach music production, songwriting, home recording.
This Eagle has some rot that needs to be addressed. This is what happens to Eagles. See how that's rusting away there? This is completely gone here. The torch elastic has ruptured in here. The mount for the torch elastic is getting pretty crusty. This side's better, but that's rusted out. Just getting some rust back in there. Well, that was an exciting day. I thought I asked all the right questions. I'm like, when's the last time it started? And she says, it's been 6 months since it ran. So I was like, I'm not really worried about it and stuck injector or anything, because it's, 6 months, that's not really going to happen. So we're fine. No problem there. Thank you. After it's all done, she then tells me that, yeah, the last time we started it, it did that where it raced really fast like that. She just thought it was the stuck throttle pedal, which is what we had been freeing up all day. But yeah, that's not how that works, because the throttle pedal was actually stuck in the off position, and then we got it to, it's working perfectly now, so it's not a stuck throttle. But she just assumed because the throttle pedal was stuck and didn't work, that's why it did that the last time they started it. But no, it has stuck injectors in it. So as it started and then took off, the first thing you saw me do was I yanked. So that has there's no mechanical fuel pump on there at all. The entire fuel pump is done by a electric pump. So I pulled the lead on that fuel pump so that it wouldn't continue to add fuel to it. And as soon as I did that, then it dropped down to almost an idle. It was just running on whatever fuel was still in the fuel line right there. And then I was able to shut it. I went inside and shut it down. So I even cracked the fuel filter on it too, so it would suck some air. So we're probably gonna have to reprime it tomorrow, but I'm not concerned about that either. But I got to pull the valve covers off tomorrow, get up in there and figure out which injectors are stuck and what's going on. But that was a hell of an exciting 15 seconds of my life again, from start to, oh my God. But yeah, I didn't even think it would run that long not having a fuel pump sending fuel to it. And then her other complaint after talking to her is that once it does start, after like a minute or two, it just shuts off. So she thought it was something with the fuel pump, but I'm like, no, what it is building up air pressure, and then whatever it is signaling that shutdown on the governor to turn it off. I'm guessing it has the spring-loaded racks in there, and it's got more than one injector stuck. That's going to be my guess that I'm going to go with, but we'll find out tomorrow when I pull it off. But clearly the throttle and idles, it should have not went from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds there. It definitely wasn't prepared for that. Again, I thought I asked all the right questions, but apparently I didn't. So tomorrow will be a fun morning too. We'll see how it goes. I was just driving on the interstate and I heard a little high-pitched noise I'd never heard before. It was real quiet. It wasn't super loud. And I'm watching my temperature gauge, and I've been running right around 175 for the last half hour, plus or minus 2 degrees either way. And then all of a sudden I see it creep up. It's getting closer to 180. And then I look at it about 30 seconds later, and it's 182. And then I'm watching it goes 183, 184. I'm like, that is completely not normal. It's cool outside, it's raining, something's going on. So there's an exit coming up in about a half mile. I see my temperature gets up to 187 before I get off on the exit ramp. So it was climbing quickly. And I pull off here, and I've lost a big section of my shroud. Has been impacted by the fan, and it's curled up in here. I don't know if I can get a good angle on this here. So the fan has hit the radiator shroud and bent it back like a tin can, I guess. The fan has got some nicks on it, but it's not horrid. Man, I can't really. See if I can get a better angle of this for you. So that big chunk isn't supposed to be up there, that's supposed to be down here. Now this is a private driveway. more pothole repairs than original road surface by 4 times.
Something, a shop over here. Where do you want me at? Like the GMC over here too.
Do you know if this thing's got glow plugs?
No, it does not. The switch still needs to get flipped. $39,500.
39 and a half.
Yeah, so 12,700 on the steer axle. That's quite a bit. That generator really adds to it up there. 18,180 on the drive axle, which that's low. That's lower. That's really low. So not only do I get to work inside concrete floor, but he's got bus lifts. Check these things out. So we're within the weight limits of it. And we just got it weighed, so we know that for a fact. Sorry about that. So we got that under the drive tire. Got the matching one over here on this side.
His tools, check the air and all those duals. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Well, he's got a long hard ride in that pre-war silver sides. Get that bus grease monkey on the road. Well, he's got that hammer down and that 40 47 Hound. It's that bus grease monkey on the road. He travels all around and he's coming to your town. Get that bus grease monkey down the road. See that 4104 with the propped up engine door. Watch that bus grease monkey do his thing. 30 years behind that barn, 'cause it don't run worth a darn. Watch that bus grease monkey make it sing. He knows them Detroits, there's no doubt, upside down and inside out. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Saving buses far and wide in that old blue silver sides. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Get that bus grease monkey down the road. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know?
Okay, so here's all our bearings. Number 5, a little bit of wear, discoloration. Number 4, that deeper scratch right there, that one was in there. This was just happened just now, this little straight line, but that was in there. Same thing, you can see some discoloration. Definitely some wear going on there. That one's not too bad, but it's obviously still got some scrapes and scratches. This was number 1. This one by far is the worst. Okay, and then the rod bearings. 1 left, definitely some wear there. 1 right. 2 left, 2 right, 3 left, 3 right, 4 left. See the edge is pretty worn, pitting and 4 right. 145,000 miles. 8V92 TA in Wonder Lodge. Beautiful, well-maintained Wonder Lodge. Okay, so I'm checking the front wheel bearing here. So if I stick my finger in there and then I rub the bottom of it and pull my finger out, I can see that the oil's still clear, but you see all that dark sediment? Watch this as I wipe my finger on here. See that metal? That's all flakes of metal in there from the bearings. I don't know if it's coming out on the camera, but it's all shiny. It should be coming out good, right? That is not good. So we got a wheel bearing issue over here to address. That's why you want to stick your finger in there and rub the bottom, not just, because if I just stick it in the oil looks pretty good. But if you go down and you rub the housing, that's when you get all that dark metal. So here's the race. This is the race out of the driver's side. I mean, you can see the clear lip right here on this, where it's shiny there. That's what the whole thing used to be. And that's how much it's worn into there. And then obviously where the hardening just disintegrated. Kind of looks like a Sasquatch in there, don't it? Is it just me?
Here's its
It's
mate.
like a dude's head up there at the top.
And its mate actually looks sort of okay.
Yeah, here's the other race, which still has some deep pitting. The hardened surface on it is, there you go, gone. It's actually in surprisingly good condition compared to how much metal was going through there and how the other one looked, but obviously it's damaged as well. Here's the other one. I don't even know if this is going to do it justice. Oops. If I give you something for scale here. Sorry for the quality of video here. I don't know what I'm doing. That's a pretty damn big crack, which I broke the tip of my blade off, but it gives you, it still goes in the length. Not comfortable. Those are pretty excessive. I mean, a little bit of this kind of crazing over here, this is normal. But when you see that black, cavernous, those are deep. So we ordered these from Fleet Pride. There's a Fleet Pride here in Victoria. And they started out at $460 each. And then he came down on price to $345 each for these. So be careful when you're buying from places like that. Try to, hey, can you give us a discount? Is there any discount available? That kind of thing. The rear drums that we just ordered, he came down from, he was over 400 and he came down to 279 on the rears that we just ordered. So just think about that when you're, these places, when you're buying stuff, that they will, come down on the price for you. So again, this was from Fleet Pride, and I think that's a pretty good deal. Of course, it's raining. Bus Grace Monkey style.
Okay, well, good. Hello out there in YouTube land. If you ever have a chance to get Scott to come work on your stuff, do it. He's the best. He's thorough. I'm so pleased that he came and fixed my bus up and found surprises that I didn't like finding, but I'm glad we found them and got them all fixed up. It'll be a while before I can use the bus now, so I can afford some fuel, but that's all right too. I know it's in good shape. I'm gonna get a new hub for that one that's maybe questionable. I just want to feel really good about it and all that. But again, the grease monkey, the bus grease monkey is by far the way to go. If I'd have taken this to a shop and had it done anywhere else, it would cost me 10 times more than it did with Scott, and I wouldn't know anything more than I did the day I bought the thing. So I've learned a lot. I appreciate his help, and I encourage anybody else who can use the services to give them a try.
Thank you. It's been fun working with you. Shower, I'm out of here. That's water coming out. We're taking off the airbox drain covers, airbox inspection covers, and there's just water pouring out of them.
Yeah, I just got a shower, an 8V92 shower.
That is a lot of water in this engine, just so you know.
Oh, nice. I've already got a whole bunch of water out of it that was completely full.
Yeah. crazy.
I guess they say.
Like, I don't understand how much that much rainwater. How much rain do you guys get here?
That much, now we know, I guess.
Yeah.
Should have that handy.
So he went to start it originally and it didn't turn over. He thought the batteries were dead. He got new batteries. And then he noticed water leaking from the exhaust manifold here. When he took this off, the turbo pipes were completely filled with water. He ended up getting a shop vac in here and sucking water out, but the whole thing was just submerged in water. Rainwater that came in through the exhaust up there and just completely filled it. That's your air filter.
Holy crap.
Which means it was still up to the turbo, the whole blower intake, everything.
I think it would have come through the exhaust just because I see up there that it's, there's rust coming out of the exhaust. But, I guess it's.
Wow. I did not expect water there. So this goes back, this is your air intake for your air compressor. So your air compressor is waterlogged as well and hydrolocked. The turbo is completely seized. That won't budge at all. It's toast, which means, I mean, the water went all the way up through the turbo, through the blower, into the air box down there. And then, you know, that water level was, well, you can see it was all the way to the top. That is a lot of water. Lenny's got the balls to climb these hills, but I'm afraid for traction and everything else. This is mud. Lenny's gonna look like shit. Although county maintenance, let's see if this is a better county. It looks like it is. It's dirt road, but it looks a little better.
Smoother.
Wow. Yeah, I think we're gonna add paved road or
Smooth road.
smooth road.
This is not good for Lenny.
Lenny was made to go down roads like this, probably. 1947, I'm sure there was a lot of this.
I was not made for roads like this. Mad at me for a month. Oh, that looks muddy. Why did it have to rain? It always rains.
bored last night. Well, my bus is broke down on the side of the road here. I am super lucky because my shutdown flapper emergency does not have a solenoid. I was just driving and the throttle stuck. I was like, holy hell. And I don't know how, but then it died all on its own. It wasn't screaming like run away, and I just pulled the valve cover and that injector is stuck. And luckily it wouldn't start because the rack is stuck in the off position right now, not in the full fuel position. I'm gonna try to get it unstuck here, but I don't trust it at all. Wow. Never seen that happen. Those are new injectors too. I thought maybe my fuel filter was plugged because it was all the way up to the top, so I just changed the fuel filter and it still didn't want to start. I said, no, it's gotta be something with the fuel, and the rack didn't feel right. So I came back here to check that. That's insane. Okay, we'll see if this starts here. Should start now. That's a relief. Being able to move that is nice. So tomorrow we get to work on the Sherman tank. Is that exciting or what? With the General Motors 6046, I believe is what it is. That's the Detroit diesel, basically twin 671s. Just it's gonna be super fun to work on that. And we're changing starters, fixing the oil leaks, doing an oil change, that kind of stuff. So just having it apart and seeing how everything's set up in there and laid out and being able to work on it. Then when we're done, we get to take it for a drive. Drivetanks.com. That's what they do here. So you could come here and drive your own tank around. They do live fire, all kinds of stuff like that. So we'll give you a lot more information as we go, but this is really fun job and opportunity to be able to work on the tank. I'm very excited about that.
It's pretty close to me.
So that crankshaft dampener there, look at that. There's all the racket she's making, which means that the flywheel or the crankshaft isn't balanced on this end at all. That's a major issue that's got to get fixed. little better in there. Good job. Was it fun? Headed to Gilbert, Arizona. Headed in the Phoenix area. All right, good morning from Gilbert, Arizona. We're here working on Juan and Michelle's 4106, 1964, I believe is what it is. They have a YouTube channel beginning from this morning. So I got Lenny's parked right over here. So I'm on concrete again. This is nice. We're going through a few things. First of all, I got to ask him about his headlights because those are pretty awesome. They recently had the bus painted. They've done a ton of work on it. And when you go to their channel, and I'm sure he'll show us off his solar array and stuff, but the solar panel setup he's got is absolutely ridiculous. Everything he's done on here is crazy. Okay, so we're working on this morning, we're working on some engine oil leaks. So he put some cardboard down under here just to kind of show us how it was leaking. So we got one big spot there from overnight. And just kind of following it up, it turns out it looks like it's coming from the bottom of the boot here. So we just tighten that up. We're going to clean it up now and take it for a test drive and see if that fixed the problem there. There's another leak on the other side coming from, looks like the oil filter adapter. So we'll get under there in just a second and check that out too. So we're taking off the front hub here. I can see that water's been infiltrating in here. You see the rusty kind of color. There's almost no grease at all on this bearing. But we'll keep looking, see what we got from there. The outside nut was super loose, maybe like 25 foot-pounds or less. So we're gonna go ahead and you wanna grab that bearing and pull that out of there. And then let's take a look at it. Boy, that thing has had some.
It's had some water.
And it's had some heat.
Oh yeah, it's had some heat.
See the color?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Look at that.
Other than somebody went crazy with a chisel in here, there's not a lot of grease on the bearings either. So we'll see how it comes apart. That other chisel thing. Oh, okay.
Okay,
You
I didn't know.
want to film this, Kel? Why? Wow.
Yep. Again. Check 2. Oof.
I gotta get brake clean to really. Can you get in there close with the camera, Kelly? And
I mean, you can see it really good.
that it's chunky.
Oh yeah.
It's not supposed to be like that.
Oh no, it's
supposed to be really smooth. Yeah.
It's filled with. I mean, those are gouges. They're filled with brake dust right now. But.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Are they all boys? 2 boys and a girl. So
It's been rubbing on the tire, and it looks like it's had an air leak over there. So we're going to replace those and get this one just a hair shorter. It's a little bit too long. It's longer than the other side. Loose wheel bearings. Go ahead and pull it back and forth. So that's moving in and out on there.
Yeah.
Super loose.
Okay.
Another problem we came across here is the S-cam bushings are worn out. And look at the roller, it's got a totally flat side on it. And the brake drum has the big gouge in it from where the S-cam is tweaked sideways and been rubbing in the brake drum. But it's not actually, what's the word I'm looking for? Centered. Because only one half of the drum has that, which means that the hub hasn't been spinning completely centered. Concentric, is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah. Concentric, yeah.
So it's only on half of it, which this thing goes in a complete circle, so that's how much like out of round.
Yeah.
Which figure that out. It's got probably because the bearings are so loose. It's our differential drain plug. We're changing the rear end fluid. A couple metal chunks in there. There are always some. This whole thing, you'll see it when we clean it up, but that's a magnet there in the middle. They always catch lots of stuff, so that one couple big pieces. We'll take a look at it closer in a second. What that drain plug does look like when it's cleaned up a little bit. So there he's retracting his solar. We have all the wheels on the bus off. Getting all new brake drums, all new bearings, all new races, all the way around. Luke at US Coach is going to supply us with all that. We're doing new linings, also brake linings, airbags, radius rod bushings. The rear shocks are bad. Typically, these shocks aren't bad unless you see oil leaking out of them. I was going to show this earlier and I hadn't, or if I did, I didn't mention it. But there, you can see how the oil's coming out of the shock. And that tells you that it's leaked out. You can see how worn this is. If you look at it, it's thinner over here than it is here. And then you can see the wear on the inside. Same thing, it's thinner over here on this side. So that's allowed it to tweak sideways and scrape that, damage that brake drum. And it's even got wear on the outside of it too, where it's been moving in there. Replace these power steering hoses. They're pretty fisky. When the cords are hanging out of it.
Yeah.
This is the better looking one.
Yeah.
Nice inspection, Scott.
Yeah. High mileage.
So this is the solar controlled charge controller I just bought. I bought it on Amazon. No discounts or anything. The company didn't give it to me. It is a lot bigger than the one that I currently have, but it was also a lot more expensive. I did buy larger than what I need right now, but this is planned for our future upgrade, what we're going to have. This will handle what we want to do up on the roof with the solar. This is very exciting. We have 6 boxes here. Dragonfly Energy. These would be Battleborn lithium-ion batteries. As we're redoing the entire battery system, the house system on here. We're also upgrading the solar, making a few other improvements. But for right now, these are going to go as 600 amp hours of 12 volt batteries. Hey, there should be a pot of gold under Lenny.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So cool.
I don't think I've ever watched before and seen it. Just
Hey, so it's pointing to the Battleborn batteries,
there
the pot of gold.
Yep. Perfect.
Well, there's about $800. I think that was a really good investment. They're 327 watts each. These are a bunch of connectors and different things that we need. They are used, but they are tested. And they're 54 volts.
Okay, I got it. You got it?
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, there's a metal plate there. It's not on the other side, so it's not going to be exactly centered.
All right, so you're gonna hook that. So this is now your positive.
You might have lost your help for the day.
So here's the rest of my haul here. 2 different 3000 watt inverters. These are 24 volt from the Victron, the Multi Plus. And then I got a couple more of the Battleborn batteries. We already have 600 amp hours in there. This is going to bring us up to 800 amp hours, but by the time we go to 40, by the time we go to 24 volts, we'll have 400 amp hours at 24 volts. We are on the property tonight and staying our first night out here tonight. We had a really good day. So we came down here to the area and we went to eat at a local restaurant. And the first thing that happened was a police detective walks up to me and he goes, "Hey, Scott." So he is a viewer of the channel and he just recognized us and was happy to hear that we're moving to his town. That was really cool. And then another guy came up and introduced himself, a viewer of the channel, and offered us to be able to use his shop for anything and tools and stuff like that. That was really cool. It was just fun to come to a small little town restaurant and then have viewers, because we never announced what town we were in or anything, and have them walk up to us and, you know, be viewers and introduce themselves. We met some of the neighbors tonight. We walked the property lines. We're really excited. So we're going to be out here on the property tomorrow most of the day, just going over the property lines and getting some ideas for different things out here. The weight, when we took the bus to get it weighed this morning, first of all, I have to say that Kelly annihilated me. So her guess, as you'll see in the video, was much closer than what my guess was. That was, I was actually shocked. And I know that, I mean, we're loaded with 2 months worth of provisions on here. So literally 2 months worth of food, clothes, where we don't have to do laundry. You know, that's a lot of weight too. The only thing that we don't have that long of a supply of is drinking water or fresh water. But the fresh water tank is completely filled, which is 100 gallons. And then we've got 15 gallons of drinking water, which will get us by, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. What?
The generator's full too.
Oh, and the generator fuel tank is full too. We're hoping we don't need that. The solar kicked butt today. It was only sunny for a little bit, and it was never completely sunny. We had like high thin cirrus clouds, and we were pulling in almost 1,600 watts at 54 amps, I think, at 24 volt. I got a screenshot of it. I was really impressed with that, and that wasn't even full sun. And because some of my panels lean to the left, some lean to the right, depending on how we're driving, I never expected we'd even get that much. So I'm really excited to see what we get when it's full sun. So the solar did everything we wanted it to do today. We basically stayed at 100% all day long. Kelly used the air fryer to cook for lunch, and while she didn't check the batteries immediately after she was done cooking, by the time we were done eating, they were back up to 100%. And then we stopped for 2 hours and took a nap, and I turned on the rooftop air conditioner, just the fan part of it, and the water heater was on the whole time too, went to sleep, and it never even took the battery away from 100%. The solar was producing enough power to run that, and that air conditioner fan was like 300 watts is what I could see on the inverter, showing me what it was pulling on there. And then whenever that water heater would turn on, I think that was like 1,700 watts. I can't remember exactly what, it was something like that. It was under 2,000, but it never even affected it. So we were pulling in enough where it was making up for that or keeping it really close to 100%. Just loving having the, you know, the 8 Battleborn batteries and then the solar. And then it was cloudy the rest of the day. We were only pulling in like 500 to 700 kind of average. But we didn't need any more than that. That's all that we had. So anyways, the weight, as you see in the next video here, that was more than I thought it was going to be. And the trip down here was great. No issues with the bus. Hopefully tomorrow we'll get some more stuff done here on the property. And then we got some Patreon people that have offered to come out and do some help. But I don't think we're going to have time before we got to hit the road for our next stop. So it's going to be a couple months then before we get a chance to come back to the property again. I can't think of anything else to say, but it was just great meeting people here in the town and neighbors and things like that. I'm going to go meet the next door neighbor tomorrow. That one we need to talk to about, see about getting an easement on the back of the property. Hopefully that'll go well. We just walked the property line. It's really close to our property line, and it's way back beyond a hill on theirs. I don't think that they would really object to it, but you know, I'm gonna do it face to face. I don't want to just call them on the phone or anything. So, anyways, that was our day. Thank you. Property line markers here. It's halfway through this gate right here, and then there's a pin there on the ground. And then there's a pin over that way towards the rock, and then there's a yellow, an orange flag there. So it kind of comes in. Here's this one. So if it goes from here to there, and then from here to there, and from this stake, we go to that next orange one up there. It is relatively smooth. At least there's no big ruts anymore. It's all hard compacted. He's drove up and down it a couple dozen times. We've got those drain tile ditches in. He tried to slope things so that water wouldn't, and like he made a curb over there, like a wash gully. That is some pretty good cracking right there.
That's what I was asking that I saw.
Yeah. There's a couple of them that way. you can tell it wasn't flush, and this is really weird how it was rubbing hard here, but not here. So it's not completely flat. Do you have a local machine shop? So I'm here in Birmingham, Alabama, working on Oz's 4104. Probably the most work I ever got done in one day on a bus. Everything went really easy. I even hate to say it and joke about it, because I mean other things are gonna go horribly slow tomorrow or whatever. But everything just went great today. We got airbags off, shocks off. We pulled the transmission. We got the flywheel off, the clutch off. All the hubs are off. The wheel bearings are out. Brake drums are apart. Everything just went really, really well, and that never happens. So I'm completely shocked and amazed by that. So anyways, I'm down here in Birmingham, probably going to be here for 4 or 5 days. Hopefully all the parts we're going to get will be here on Friday, and then before the weekend is done, we'll have everything put back together. So we've got all the airbags and that kind of stuff. We had to order the shocks. Those will be here, and then the wheel seals are going to stop off putting that stuff together. And then I have a new rear main seal in my bus that I can give him, so I don't have to wait for that, so I can get that back on, the flywheel back on, clutch and everything. The clutch is brand new. It looks like it's been just recently replaced. I'm not really sure when that was done, but the clutch is in great shape. But the flywheel, I noticed the wobble to it. The bolts were not properly torqued, and I don't think it was seated properly on there with the wear that was on there. So anyways, 4104, great bus. Looks like it's in really good shape. Wheel bearings all look real good. It's just the wheel seals that were leaking. Front brakes are great. Rear brakes got some wear, but there's still some life left in them. The S-cams are nice. So just routine maintenance. The engine needs a little bit of love. It's got 1 weak cylinder, but it comes in after it just runs for a minute or two. That's real common. Not worth.
It's either peanut butter or hummus.
Oz drove his Pontiac to work today. Check it out. Okay, well this job is all done for now. He's going to finish up everything else. He's quite capable of doing it, putting the airbags on. He removed most of them anyways. He understands how to do it. Shocks, we got to get 4 more, so that's no big deal to put. That's just a couple bolts to throw those on. And he's just going to keep cleaning and getting things ready to go. But everything as far as the drive line and everything is ready to go. He's got 1 more bolt to put in the drive shaft, and then that one that's missing from the U-joint. And then he's going to change the rear end fluid. He didn't have that today. He's got to get that special size for that wiper. He's going to take that one to a machine shop on Monday. He already called a buddy who's got a machine shop, and he'll take the old one and they'll measure it and they'll cut that one to the right diameter, and then that can go on there. So I can't put that front hub together because that wiper was the wrong one to go on there. It's an oddball axle on there. That's the spindle. That's very strange. It's the first time I've actually come across that.
Take 4.
Make it up in second. We made it up in second. Woohoo! Good job, Lenny and Scott. You gonna go out and dance?
No, just think, Oz.
We're still rolling, Scott. It's greened up in the few days we've been gone.
Yeah. Crazy.
Still not 100% smooth up here, so you might not want to try going faster.
I know what'll clear it first.
bumpy. Not a smooth video.
You made it. Comes load number 2. There's our mailbox. Nice and secure. We're getting ready to put the numbers on it and go from there. Threw a couple reflectors on it because it's regulation height and distance from the road, but I don't want people taking it out not knowing, you know, not used to it's here. But they don't, it doesn't look like they really go off the road much here. That being said, there's a tire mark right there, but we'd have been safe. This is looking down in between the rocks here. That's a pretty big snake. Can you run a rooftop air off of solar and a battery bank? Absolutely you can. So I'm getting ready to start the install here with the Mr. Cool unit. This is going to go in the bay down below. So I'm going to go over there and show you in just a second where that's going to go. We're going to remove the generator to put this where the generator currently is. 12,000 BTU. It also has a heat pump on it. So I'm taking out this generator because this bay door is already vented. I'll pull this stuff out that was just there because we had some issues with rainwater on that. I no longer need a 6.5 kilowatt generator because of the massive amount of solar that we have. I can get by with just a tiny little Honda generator that could sit in here if I need to. So that generator can come out, that 30-gallon fuel tank can come out. I have plenty of room to do what I need to do in here. So that'll be step one, removing the Onan generator. Okay, so I've removed the Onan generator here, and I have it hooked up as an auxiliary power station. So I've got the fuel tank here and everything hooked up with the battery. Tons of room in there. I just need to clean some stuff out, but we're getting there. But yeah, I can still run this. And then I have a power adapter that I can plug into. This is wired into the generator here, so I can plug my shore power cord in there and have 220 power off of this generator anytime while I'm here at home right now. It's been rough the last couple weeks hanging out here on the property, just waiting for the virus thing to settle down. No income, you know, no money coming in, so hopefully we'll be able to get back to work pretty soon. But things are getting kind of tough. So there we are. What'd you do? How many more minutes did you put in?
2 more minutes.
2 more minutes.
So 27 minutes it ended up being.
Oh, it looks delicious.
You can hear how nice and crunchy, crispy, flaky. Hopefully I can get this out of here without it making a mess. And there we go.
That's mine.
You go Hawaiian it.
Yeah.
Y'all don't get out here tonight and fall in here now.
I think we did it pretty good. Perfect. Well, we're starting to get the potting soil in her planting beds here. That is 1,000 pounds. We need more. What wasn't there? Oh. Can you hold on? Oh my God. A bunch of solar panels just blew away.
Get out there, get them.
Hell no, we're not going out there. Grab me my other phone.
How many bars on my phone?
Yeah, I couldn't get this one to do anything. All right, so I'm gonna cut down these parts of these trees here where I can get my car out. It's gonna be a little bit for the bus fits through here. Giant tree came down last night and it took out 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 5 other trees came down with it here. And a lot of them aren't really touching the ground, and some of them you can see are bowed, where there's just pressure on them, but they're not down. It's not for the faint of heart here. So I'm wearing a hard hat, you happy to know? Those of you that may be interested in Kelly's garden here, she's got a row there and there. She's got, so we got carrots and, I don't remember, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, onions, eggplant. I don't know which one's which. She's got a whole chart. But she's got lots of rows of stuff popping up in here. And then she's got a whole bunch of things. Oh, there's a new one right there. There's a couple more new ones. These are brand new. I hadn't seen these yet. I think those are yellow squash. Here comes Lenny's first friend on the property. This is Dan. Got a flexible. Mama Bear is gonna be real excited to see her little cub up there. We're getting ready to leave to go get Tyler's bus, but it's raining out, so we're gonna delay for about 45 minutes here because it's gonna stop raining. That way we don't have to load up in the rain. That's just gonna suck and then be wet in the truck all day. But, it's raining pretty decent out there. We're doing good. We gotta keep an eye on the temperature though. It's 89 degrees outside, and by us checking the temperature gauge inside with the actual thermostat housing, it's about 20 degrees warmer the engine than what it reads in here. So right now I'm running about 175 in here, which is 195. So just keep an eye on it. It's got to go a little slower. I'm going about 50 miles an hour, although this hill is slowing me down just a little bit. It's pretty steep. We've gone about 450 some miles, so we got less than 50 miles to go. That's exciting. We're doing real good. So the bunny did the hill climb. It's hot as balls in here. There's no window knobs to roll down the windows. It was rough. If I can kill everything 10 feet from the path. And then as that drifts through the trees. Hopefully it'll get rid of a bunch of mosquitoes too. Told you it does pretty good. It looks nice down there.
Yeah, it's really cool. Getting in and out of the motorhome's a little treacherous. You have a shovel?
Yes.
I'll borrow the shovel and I'll at least level that out a little bit. Huh?
Okay. Yeah, I'll bring the wheelbarrow and the shovel down.
Okay. All right.
his tools. Check the air and all those duels. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Well, he's got a long, hard ride in old Lenny the Silver Sides. Get that bus grease monkey on the road. Well, he's got that hammer down and that 47 Hound. It's that bus grease monkey on the road. He travels all around and he's coming to your town. Get that bus grease monkey down the road. See that 4104 with the propped up engine door. Watch that bus grease monkey do his thing. 30 years behind that barn, 'cause it don't run worth a darn. Watch that bus grease monkey make it sing. He knows them Detroits, there's no doubt, upside down and inside out. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Saving buses far and wide in that old blue Silver Sides. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Now he's moved his family to the hills of Tennessee. Watch that bus grease monkey make his home, bringing buses back to life with the help of his dear wife. Watch that bus grease monkey get it done. Well, he travels town to town working on them old greyhounds. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Saving buses far and wide in old Lenny the Silver Sides. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know?